Hello, welcome back to the design studio. We are talking about typography today, and I'm so excited because that's my favorite topic. If you don't know who I am, I'm Paola. Welcome to my channel. This is where I talk about arts, my life, design, journeys in the creative experience of life. And that's what we're doing today. And if you're not new, welcome back. And also follow me on Instagram and also subscribe. If you're not subscribed, ring the bell to get notified when I upload because YouTube just doesn't like to push my videos out. I don't know. Today's typography chat is more about how to just practice typography, how to get better at it, and how to actually use resources and things like that without having something new or buying things. Like if you don't have the type books, the type collection that I have, that is okay. Like there are so many ways to get better in your practice, whether you're wanting to actually create fonts or you're just looking to understand that whole side of graphic design a bit more. It's such an important part of graphic design, so I feel like it's a great practice to just up your skills in all aspects. I'm here to help because not everything should be expensive, resources should be free, but I also am focusing on this myself. I am loving type and I'm trying to get better at it. And I am advanced, so I can give you a lot of advice from all the stuff I've learned and just pass it on because why not? So before I get into these exercises that you can do, I want to share a type resource. It is typedesignresources.com. It's actually so great. It has a ton of resources, a ton of links, and it also has type workshops and classes, and it's just a very inspirational place where you can find everything. So let's get into the exercises of it all. So my first exercise is this. It's a challenge to you. And that is to actually start studying the anatomy of type and more about the lingo and the words you need to know and everything about the actual structure of typography. There are ways to do this without books. I mean, I love my book resources and I've shared them a million times everywhere on all my social media. But in general, there are ways to just study this on your own and actually practice. So this is definitely a tedious or repetitive process, but I actually feel like it is really beneficial, and a lot of graphic design should be about repetition and practicing over and over and over to just really nail things down and improve. It's not about just talent and taste all the time, it's about practice. So I want you, on any program or anything you have, even you can do it by hand, take a word and then label the anatomy. And if you're even what the heck is the anatomy of type, there are tons of resources out there. I will have them linked below, don't even worry. And you can start learning that from there. And if you already know it, it's great to practice. I also need this for myself just to brush up on everything. Now, exercise number 2. This is something I've actually talked about in a different video, so definitely watch all my videos because they always have advice and resources and things sprinkled in, and I'm always showing what I'm working on, and that's kind of how I did it in that other video. So definitely go check out other videos to get more advice. But for this one, it's actually something I'm doing on my iPad, so I can actually draw, but you can do it by hand as well. You don't have to do it on your iPad, especially if you don't have an iPad. Wow, okay. So if you do this, it's basically just using grids and drawing each letter of the alphabet. So this is a practice in hand lettering, in creating letters, and actually practicing within a grid system so that you can fundamentally understand the shapes of the letters, and then you can kind of create from there, from the fundamentals. So I actually got this from a Skillshare class, but I'm sharing it with you. Basically, you can do this on any gridded paper, but what I learned is to do a simplified, if you're doing it on an iPad, this is how it works, where you do a simplified letter form and then you just copy it into all your grids so you can do it the 9 times. And then you can kind of draw over top of it and use it as a reference. You can also do this physically with tracing paper. You can also not do that at all and just draw the simple shape every time and then draw over it. It's totally easy. But yeah, maybe I'm a little bit wrong for sharing that, but I'm not sharing all the tips from the class and I'm not repeating anything she said. So yes, for these first 2 kind of longer processes, but definitely beneficial. And I think with type design or learning type, it is really about quantity over quality in a way, which sounds so weird, but it is really about repetition and just experimenting and kind of making ugly before you make things pretty. I think this is really where the fundamentals of design make me happy, because it's not just about the social media curation of it all and like using perfect colors and using perfect aesthetics all the time. It's really about the nitty-gritty, and I just love this whole aspect of design. Okay, so for one of these exercises, I'm actually going to be using Kittl. And if you don't know what Kittl is a highly intuitive design platform where you can create vectors, use templates, create from scratch, but also just create beautiful design work. I love using Kittl. They have an amazing collection of images, templates, fonts, and that's what we're really focusing on here. What's amazing is that you can choose from their thousands of fonts to create something very special and honestly really help you in your typography skills. So that's what I am doing today. I'm actually going to create little type-based stickers with Kittl. Kittl makes it easy to get started in any way possible, but I'm going to get started from scratch here. So easily creating shapes, choosing colors, and now choosing the fonts I want. I'm creating cute little stickers in different styles depending on what I chose. I like that with every choice I make on Kittl, I can find something that matches a different personality and a different style, but like my design work comes through. There's also so much you can do with vector shapes on Kittl, like I can minus the front and make it hollow. And with my text, I can actually add effects on Kittl very easily. I love that it's all simplified and right in front of me so that I can just work as quickly as possible and as easily as possible. And I absolutely love that with Kittl, I can even show them in mockups to see how they would really look. So my little challenge to you is to also create your own text stickers. So I'm super happy to share that you can get Kittl right now, get started for free. Click my link in the description, but also you can use my code PaolaYT and get 25% off your first month or your first year on any paid plans. There is so much to try out and discover on Kittl, so definitely check it out. And thank you so much to Kittl for sponsoring. I really think making stickers with type is an amazing exercise. Okay, so I have some grid paper here, and for our next exercise, it's about physically drawing. So what we're going to do with this is we're actually going to make small squares and draw within the actual grid tiny letters. And yes, this might seem a little silly to just be drawing so small scale that you can't really do much, right? But I actually love this exercise that I made up because it really challenges your mind to do things with as little as possible. And that for me definitely helps because I'm somebody who gets really stressed with drawing and it's just not my thing. Obviously, that other exercise of drawing the letters will definitely help me because it also works on a grid and it can help my mind kind of like work in one spot. But with this one, it's just like about, first of all, trying letters with as little strokes as possible. It's also about drawing on different scales. It's also about making things interesting just with what you have. And I think it is a really great exercise. So let's do it. So I'm going to be doing this with a pen because this is not about perfection. This is about just writing down all your letters. And so we're going to start with like A and then B and C and so forth. So it's not about going over it a million times and perfecting it with pencil and erasing. It's just about doing. I also have a ruler here because I'm gonna make the squares on these lines. Okay, so yes, this is very small. We're working in a very small area and there's just a few squares, but we're going to fill in every tiny square with the letter A. We're going to do uppercase, lowercase, whatever we feel. It's really just about intuition and trying things out. And maybe they'll be ugly, maybe they'll be pretty, but who even cares? I love that this type of exercise can really turn into something bigger in the long run. Like, you never know. I'm even gonna try different variations of one of these letters all down this row. So let's just try that and see how it goes. Something I thought of while doing this type of project is like taking it digital at some point and putting it in a design. Like, I did see a design online that I thought, oh, well, that could work for like what this exercise is. Like, imagine that in your work. I think it's such a cool experimental way to showcase work. But yes, this is just so inspirational to me. I started going out of order just to make it a bit more fun, to be honest. Truthfully, I think I made this square too big because my hand is tired, but it's important. Okay, so now that we have that, you can see how there's just so much potential in some of these letters. Not every single one, obviously, but that's the point of the exercise. This can now be such a great resource for yourself to look back on and see your own ideas and look at your own ideas for inspiration for your next project. Like I've been stating, the art of repetition is so important, and I'm actually going to show you some of my old projects from my first typography class. They're not really like fully fleshed out projects because this class was so much about the actual practice of letter forms. But let's talk through them and hopefully they can be exercises that you do as well. Okay, so this might look a little bit silly, but essentially all I had to do for this project was take photos of everywhere where something looks like a letter form. So for this was actually a question mark because yes, all of that is part of a typeface. This is a J, this is like the letter H, and then I had a cart in my room at the time that looked like a C from IKEA. But yes, the exercise and this project was to find images of where things look like letter forms. So this is an A, this is a T. So yeah, essentially this was the project, and I actually really encourage you to do this project as well because it is so helpful in finding typography everywhere and then learning and creating inspiration for yourself. And that takes us to charrettes. So essentially what a charrette is like a 5-minute challenge, and you can do this with letter forms and glyphs and shapes, and it's like a 5-minute challenge where you create a pattern or you create something, some sort of design in that amount of time. You can actually do it like less than 5 minutes, usually like 2 minutes. Like what can you do as quick as possible? So set timers for yourself and create. So as you can see, these are out of letters, and then some of these are shapes, and some of these turned into more complex things like playing with perspective. And it's just about doing. It's really not about final product. But I feel like I said about typography really is about quantity than it is quality, because that quality will come later, especially as you become more advanced. But these are just great exercises to do or to keep in your like wheelhouse, even if you are a beginner or an advanced typographer. So we're going to actually create our own little charrettes here, and we're actually just going to do a new file. So you can do this in any way and with anything, especially if you're like specifically studying a typeface. Like we actually in our typography class focused on typefaces like individually, and we would do little reports on them as well, like the history of them and stuff like that. So we're actually going to be using Baskerville here because it is such a classic typeface and it is one that I studied. Let's open the glyphs panel here, and then we can see the entire glyphs for the typeface of Baskerville. Okay, so we're literally gonna set a 2-minute timer, and then we will get going in just making shapes, crazy, whatever, with this typeface. Okay, so number one actually turned out very interesting. I feel like this is so great as an exercise because like you can already see something forming here, whether or not it makes any sense, but this will help you along the way later. Imagine doing your own custom type, imagine doing your own custom logo when you want curvature, lettering, and you feel like you are more equipped now because you've done so many exercises of things like this. Okay, round two, 2 minutes on the clock, let's do it. Okay, so I actually did that within the 2 minutes and I finished it, but what I did was I actually created a physical pattern using one of the glyphs, and I think I might try this concept again with a more obvious letter, since obviously this is a glyph here, but I feel like this is so cool as well because you're really expanding your mind from letter form to pattern, from pattern to design, and it's just so important for your creative brain. So let's try that one more time, but with a more obvious letter like C. 2 minutes, let's go. So I actually finished that one in 1 minute. Obviously, once you know what you want to do, it can get a little bit easier. But the point really with this is not to think so hard. So don't really be like married to any idea or even try to pre-plan them when you do them. It's really about just embracing it, throwing things out there. So yeah, I had the concept of the pattern because I saw it for this one. So it's like, yeah, that's great. You can keep going with that. You can do more, or you can go back to just like a crazy concept and really throw things at the wall and not even use your mind. And I think that's really important too. But yay, this was really fun. This video has felt so beneficial to me personally, so I really hope that it helped some of you as well. I love typography, and it's just like every time I actually do something, sit down and do something, do my exercises, plan my work, like I feel so much better. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it helped you, and just remember that typography is all about practice. It's not about just having natural talent for like hand lettering or creating a typeface. Like that takes so much work and so much practice, and you can get there in your own time, and hopefully this will just help you in any aspect of your design journey. So yeah, I'm always here to help. I'm so happy you're here, and I'll see you in the next video. Give this video a like if you liked it, and let me know in the comments what else you want to see. It really helps my channel when you like and comment, so ring the bell, subscribe, do it all, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye!